Amen Thompson so far this season has pretty much been a non-factor from the perimeter, only shooting 48 threes so far this season and making just a quarter of them. But despite Amen's limited outside shooting, his scoring numbers this year are still on the rise, while also having a pretty high effective field goal percentage. Now, it's no secret that Amen does his best work attacking the basket. Right now, Amen is one of the best high-volume paint scorers in the NBA. Standing at 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan, Thompson is one of the most dynamic and explosive athletes in the NBA, both having a ridiculous first step with the ball and the ability to instantly shoot up and play above the rim. The Rockets on this play are going to run an open ball screen for Thompson, where he has the option to come off either right or left, but Amen is just going to get this push cross to his left, to then take one dribble and challenge the NBA's best shot blocker at the rim.
Get into the lane, hanging in air, gets it to go again.
Naz Reid on this play stepping out and meeting Amen at the logo, and Thompson from here is just going to swipe with that off arm, getting this easy blow by to his right. And as the weak side defense slides over, Amen's going to elevate off 1 foot to parachute up and over him. And on top of Thompson's ability to explode off 1 foot in stride, he's also got the coordination and balance to lift up off 2 feet while playing downhill. Watch him here set up this blow by skipping off his left foot, to then replant it and push himself downhill. And while maneuvering around the defense, Thompson has the control to gather off 2 and shoot up. When finishing around the basket, Thompson's footwork and strength also plays a big factor, being able to cover a ton of ground on these Euro steps, as well as step through contact and elevate up for tough finishes. And even if Amen doesn't create a clear scoring angle with his strides, he's always got that verticality in his back pocket. LeBron here initially does a good job of staying in front of this right-left Euro step, but Amen can simply extend up and get this finish over him. He's first going to get to a right-to-left crossover in stride, to then pick up and attack the defense's body. But from this spot, Amen's got the stability to decelerate off his next 2 steps. We'll see him hit a similar move here, where Thompson again attacks the defense's body to then decel and put up this balanced push shot. So athletically, Amen can both channel that ridiculous quick twitch explosiveness while also being able to play smooth and fluid with the ball. And this gives him countless of scoring options when attacking the basket. He's first going to get to this left to right cross, then quickly turn on the jets. And as the defense gets ready for him to explode up, Amen instead slows down his strides, causing this defender to stumble forward and this defender to mistime his jump.
Defensively getting after it.
And like we've seen, pretty much all the men's physical tools carry over to his scoring in transition, where he can fill lanes and be an easy kick-ahead option. And obviously, once Amen gets ahead of his team going towards the basket, he's really tough to deal with.
Oh my God!
In transition, Thompson also does a ton of damage leading the break himself. And this is where I think his ball handling plays a huge factor, because on top of Thompson's speed in the open court, he's also got really good ball control while hitting the turbo button. Watch him in full stride hit this left to right crossover, and without skipping a beat, Amen puts his foot on the gas and speeds right past the defense for this and one. And because Thompson is such a unique athlete with the ball, he can keep his moves off the dribble very simple. He's first going to push the ball across to his left, then exchange it back to his right. And from here, he's just going to pick up and step through this gap. And just like that, he's throwing it down.
Wow! Oh my goodness!
So with the ball in his hands, I think Thompson's got a lot of juice to his game. He's got a really good handle to go along with all that size and speed. I think he's already got elite footwork and body control in the paint, and pretty much all those tools carry over to his scoring in transition. Now, while Thompson for sure has a ton of individual talent with the ball, there are parts of his game that are still raw. First, Amen at times can be pretty reckless as a driver, commonly dribbling into crowds without setting up his man or reading the floor. Off the bounce, Thompson also has one speed with the ball. He hasn't really developed pace or any kind of advanced navigation off the dribble. Pretty much all those moves are done at full throttle, which again causes him to dribble into traffic or just outright lose the ball. Watch him hit this aggressive between cross, and his feet get out and ahead of the ball. Now on this play, he's going to explode off his handoff, and he tries to slam the brakes going behind the back, but again he can't get his feet organized, leading to another live ball turnover. Now at age 21 and about to turn 22, these are pretty typical issues for a young athletic player, and I think a lot of this comes down to reps and experience. But the most important thing for Rockets fans is that Amen is showing signs of improvement, which at this point of his career is the most important thing. Now in the half court, Amen also does a big chunk of his work off the ball. The Rockets have other high-level creators like Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green, which allows Thompson to fill in the cracks and capitalize on his teammates' gravity. In Houston's offense, Thompson loves to hover around the dunker spot, where if his man gets pulled outside the deep paint, it's pretty much a guaranteed catch and finish. Plus, Thompson also has the bounce to catch lobs above the rim.
Back and then throws it to Thompson.
Off the ball, Thompson also has a good feel of timing into his cuts, by both reading the ball and his man, finding the perfect time to knife towards the basket. And because Amen is looked at as a non-shooter, that should give his man a license to roam off him and provide extra help. But Thompson's cheat code bounce allows him to capitalize on any space around the basket. Trey Murphy on this play is going to slide across the paint, tagging Steven Adams rolling, but that allows Thompson on the weak side to dive into that open space. So in essence, Amen does have the same effect as a spot-up shooter. He may not completely pull the defense out of the paint, but he does have the ability to punish the defense for helping off him. And this weak side lob threat and pick and roll kind of reminds me of Aaron Gordon with Denver, where if the weak side defense overcommits to these Jokic and Murray ball screens, it's going to be easy lobs at the rim. The Rockets this year have also been using Thompson as a pick and roll man, where obviously he's got the skill and physical tools to do a ton of damage. I like this play the Rockets run, where Thompson again catches on the short roll, and notice how Sengun is going to seal off this big play and drop, allowing Thompson to simply dribble around with his flush. Now the next part of Thompson's game that we have to go over is his offensive rebounding. Amen right now is averaging over 2.5 offensive boards per game, which is more than any guard or wing in the league. And pretty much all this comes down to his combination of bounce, timing, while also having the motor to outwork the defense. And similar to what we saw with his off-ball cutting, the defense commonly ignores Amen on the perimeter, allowing him to roam into that open space and teleport up to grab these boards. So while Thompson's lack of outside shooting does put a cap on his spacing and overall effectiveness off the ball, Thompson is still finding ways to be productive by leaning into his cutting and scrapping for offensive boards. And despite not taking many open catch and shoot threes, Amen is still creating very effective offense with high percentage twos and getting the Rockets more possessions with his offensive rebounding.